Hello handy beaders! Today I'm going to teach you how to make one of these components so you can use them in your project. Today's video will have two parts. The first will be the making of the component, and the second will be experimental. I would like to try to join these components to make a bracelet. So if you are interested, stay with me and I will show you how to do it. To make one component you will need one Czech square bead, and this bead is 8 by 8 millimeters and has 2 holes. Then you will need 4 nib beads, which are Czech glass beads as well, and have 2 holes as well. Then you will need 8 rullas. These are little cylinder beads with 2 holes. They are Czech beads as well. And then you will need these cubes. I think these are Toho brand cubes, and I can measure them because I did lost my label. So these are probably 3 by 3 millimeters. I think so. This should be about 3 millimeters in every aspect. So you will find the size of the beads by this information. Then you will need 2 beading needles. The size is up to you. I'm using size 10 beading needles because you have beads with quite large holes and you are not doing so many passes, thread passes through them. So I think size 10 beading needles are appropriate. Then you will need Fireline. I'm using this smoked Fireline, and this is 0.12 millimeter thick, and then some scissors or snippers or something like that. So gather all of your materials and then we will start. Cut a piece of thread about 1 meter long and thread a needle on each of its ends. I cut 1 meter and a few centimeters just in case I will need them, so maybe cut more, it's better. And then pick one nib bead, and you will use 2 needles, so one in your right hand and one in the left. So maybe it's better when I will put these aside so you can then see what I'm doing. And I'm picking 1 nib bead with my left hand needle, and I'm picking it through the bottom hole, through the narrow end of the bead. And then on the right hand needle I will pick 2 rullas. Always check the second hole when you have your 2 hole beads, so you won't end with a clotted hole and you don't have to undo something of your project. So put the needles together and slide the beads down, and then you will have 2 rullas on the right side of your thread and 1 nib bead on the left side. Then pick your needles and go with your left hand needle, go through the second rulla edit and go through the same hole, just the other direction, and pull. and when you pull it, you will end up with 3 beads in a circle, but you have to pull it so you will have both ends will be the same length. So I will take them and put them like this, and then I will run through the thread and pull my beads so they will end in the center of my thread. Just one thing, you can pull the right hand needle a bit more. You will maybe need a few more centimeters at the end. So when you put these together, then you will see the right hand needle is, the thread on this needle is a bit longer. Then you have to step up through the rulla you are exiting out of. So pick your right hand needle and go through the second hole of the same bead, and then pick your left hand needle and go through the second hole of the same bead and crisscrossing the right hand thread, and then pull everything tight. So you will have nice circle, and you will exit out of the upper hole of the last rulla edit. Then with your right hand needle, pick one rulla, and with your left hand needle crisscross through the same hole of the same rulla and pull everything down. So when you pull it, you will have something like this, and these rulla beads are sitting one on the other. Then you have to step up again, so take your right hand needle and go through the upper hole of the same bead. Take your left hand needle and go through the upper hole of the same bead, just the other direction, and then pull. Again, try to make these beads to sit nicely, because it's important for the shape of the component. So you have something like this. With your left hand needle, pick one bit Nib-Bit, sorry. So one of those, and you want to pick it through the bottom hole of the bead, and then with the same needle picking one rulla bead and pulling everything down. And I have to take it like this so you can see and I can work with it. And with my right hand needle I will go through the same hole of the last rulla edit, just the opposite direction, and pull everything. So I have something like this. Actually this circle or these 3 beads look like the first 3 beads, and that's we are going for. So with my right hand needle going through the upper hole of the same bead, trying to not catch anything, and with my left hand needle going through the upper hole of the exact same bead and pulling it tight like this. So you are now here, and you want to add on your right hand needle, you want to add one more rulla, slide it down, and then take a left hand needle and go through the same rulla, the same hole, the opposite direction, and then pull everything down. So again, rullas are sitting nicely like this, like little cylinders. With the right hand needle going through the upper hole of the same bead and then crisscrossing by the left hand needle through the same hole of the same bead and pulling it tight again, so they are sitting nicely like this. Picking my left hand needle, I'm going to pick one more Nib-Bit and going through the bottom hole or the hole on the narrow end of the bead, and picking another Rulla bead and pulling everything down. And then I have to take my right hand needle and go through the same rulla, just opposite direction like this, and then pulling it down again like this. You can see there is this little square starting to form right here. We have to progress, we have to go up. So with my right hand needle again, the upper hole, with the left hand needle again through the upper hole in the opposite direction, and pulling my work down. Okay, and then with my right hand needle I will pick one Rulla bead and sliding it down, and with the left hand needle going through that same bead the opposite direction, so we are crisscrossing, and when you pull you will have two rullas like this. Then we have to progress more, so with my right hand needle, sorry for the noise, I will go through the upper hole of my rulla and doing the same, just the opposite direction with left hand needle and pulling. And now you can see my beads are not sitting nicely, so I have to pull them so they are exactly like little soldiers like this. And then we can continue, and with the left hand needle picking the last Nib-Bit. I'm always checking the both sides which one is prettier, and pulling my Nib-Bit and then the last rulla and pulling it down. Then I will take my right hand needle and go through the same rulla, opposite direction, and pull these beads down like this. Now I have all of my inner square beads in place, and I have to connect these two ends of my square. So I will, with my right hand needle, I will go up the same hole, same bead, sorry, second hole, and doing the same with my left hand needle like this, and then pulling really tight so there is nothing loose, and then just adding these together, joining them. So with my right hand needle I'm going through the first Rulla bead of my square, and with the left hand needle doing the same, the opposite direction. And now when I pull, I will close the square of the beads. And now I have to position my needles for adding this square bead in the center. So first of all, I will take my right hand needle and I will go through the next hole, but now I'm exiting out of this square in the outer edge of the square, and I want to go this direction, so I have to pass through the beads, through the same bead, just the other hole, and pull, and through the next bead like this, and the next hole of the same bead. So now I'm exiting out of the circle, the inner square, sorry. And now I'm having this left hand needle, so I want to go parallel to this one, which is going this way. So I have to go through the second hole of the same bead and just pull. So when I pull it really tight and nicely, I will have my two threads going this way. So I will turn it a bit, and again still my right hand needle is in my right hand and the left is in my left hand, and then I will pick my square, also checking which side is prettier. I think this one. So I will go like this, each needle through the hole, and then pull everything down, and it sits perfectly in the square. And I have to anchor this bead so it won't move so much. So with my right hand needle I will go through the outer hole of the nearest Rulla bead, like this. With my left hand needle I will do the same, just the second bead. So now I'm exiting out of this square like this. The next step is to reinforce this anchoring of my square bead in the middle. So picking my right hand needle, I will go through the beads like a wave, and I will end here so I can go through the same bead, just the other direction and the other hole. And I will do the same with my left hand needle, and I will end on this opposite side, and then I will be ready to add more beads and to finish this component. So with my right hand needle I will go through the other hole of the same bead and through the nearest hole which belongs to the other bead, and through the upper hole of the same bead again, that I'm ready to go through the square bead and through the rulla the hole which I'm exiting out of with this left hand needle. So I will pull it like this, and then I will take my left hand needle and do the same with this needle. So going through the beads and going through the square bead and going through the last Rulla bead like this. I will end here. So there you have the skeleton, which is really nice. And then we want to embellish this skeleton and fill the gaps here. So I will turn my work and my right hand needle will be in my left hand, so I will turn it like this. And I will have my needles, my thread on the top, and it will be easier for me. So with my right hand needle I will go through the nearest Nib-Bit, the hole which we have already used, and the second hole as well. And I will do absolutely the same on this side. So I will go through the Nib-Bit, through one hole and through the second hole. And then I'm ready to add my cubes. So here are my cubes. I will pick one and I will go through the second hole of the nearest Rulla bead, and then through the other hole of the same bead, and then through the cube bead again. So actually we are doing square stitch here. And again picking one of my cubes, going through the nearest hole so it can lay nicely there, then going through this hole and going through the cube and pulling it down. And again, here we go, one cube, going through this hole, then going through the same ruler, just the second hole, and pulling and going through the square again. I will turn the squares so they're nice on this side. Then I will go through the Nib-Bit, the hole which is on the wider end, and I will continue picking one of my cubes, going through the Rulla bead, going through the second hole of the same bead, and again going through my square, or better said cube bead, and again another cube through the ruler, through the second hole of the next ruler, and through this cube and pulling, so it sits nicely next to each other. And again one cube, going through rulla, going through the rulla this way, and then going through cube bead, and you can go through bead Nib-Bit. Sorry, how is it called? Nib-Bit, I think so. So you can continue until you will have the whole square covered with these cube beads, and then I will show you how to reinforce this cube, or sorry, this square, and then we will be finished. After the finishing of filling the gaps with my cube beads, I will go through the Nib-Bit and through one more cube, and then I will reinforce with my second hand needle the whole outer circle, or I should say outer square of beads, so they will sit nicely. As you can see, this bead isn't working for me, so I have to force it, and I will do it like this, so it sits nicely with the other beads, and then I will go through a few more beads just to reinforce the outer square of my component, and then we are exiting out of the beads which are next to each other, so then we will tie the ends together. I'm using, I don't know, I think this is simple overhand knot when you go over and under once, but when you go again, or you can go once more, I think it's called surgical knot, and it's more secure. So pulling everything tight, and I will add one more knots, and then I like to go with the longer thread. I like to go into the central bead to hide the knot, and then I like to just add half hitch knots just to secure the end of the thread. I like to go under the thread, going the outer edge of my square, and then going through the loop, and then pull, and going through the next bead, and again pull, and do the same thing on the other side. So going under just the threads which are going around this, not the threads which you were making the square stitch with, and then I have to go into the loop, and I have so small loop I'm not able to do it. So I have to unthread this needle. I will do it off the camera, so I won't make it the video longer. Okay, I untied the knot which I had on my needle, and it will be easier for me to tie half hitch knots going through or under this thread, this outer threads I should say, and going into the loop and then pulling and then going through the next bead. And I like to take my pliers and pull everything tight so it's really nice tight. Okay, then you can just take these and scissors or snippers and snip the ends. This one I can hold in my hand. And you have your component done. To the experimental part of my video, I'm thinking of using very thick tishing line to join all of these components to make a bracelet. But I'm not sure if I will use all 6 of them or I will use only 5. But I guess we will see. My idea is to circle every component through the outer square of the component and to square stitch these components together with these side beads, but I'm not sure if it will work, so we will see. And also I'm not sure if I should use only 1 thread or 2 threads. I don't know, but it's easier for me to tie a knot when there are 2 threads at the end. So maybe I will use 2 ends, like 2 needle when you are doing 2 needle project. And I'm considering the length. Maybe wing spread will be enough to make this bracelet. I will try wing spread of this monofilament nylon thread, and I will try it. Okay, let's try. Just one thing, I positioned my components so the holes of the central square are parallel like this. I think it's better because when you consider that there are 2 ends, there is ending, there is a knot here, up here. It's better, you won't put any pressure or tension on the knot because it's up, it's not on the side, and you are using the beads on the side, so maybe it will be better. What about loops at the ends and clasps? I think about using another thread to make a loops and add a clasp here, because then it won't be so exercised on the ends with my monofilament thread, which is holding the whole bracelet together. So maybe it's better to use 1 thread just to join these together, and then use 2 more threads just to make loops, so I can add a clasp on each of these ends. So let's start with this one. I have to hold it in my hand, so I will start here. And then I will go through the top and through the side, through the right side. I hope you can see anything. I'm not using needle because this thread is very thick and it won't fit my needle. go in here, and then I will take the second end and I will go the opposite direction. So I will go through this corner bead, then through these cube beads, and again this corner bead and 3 more cubes. And now when I pull it, I will have my ends exiting out of this group of 3 beads, but I have my ends uneven, so I have to take my ends together, hold them together, and then pull the project into the center. As you can see, it's right in the middle, like this. Now I will try just to go like this through a group of 3 beads from the second component, but I'm not sure if it will work, if there will be nice tension on the thread, so it will look nice. I will see. So this is my first component and this is the second, and now I will join them like this. I will do right side as first, going through as many beads as I can and going through this Nib-Bit, which is quite difficult, and going through these 3. Okay, up, and then I will do the same with the left hand needle or left hand thread, going through the first grouping of 3, and then through this corner bead and through 3 more. I didn't manage to go through these 3, and through this Nib-Bit. Sorry, I hope you can see now. And through these 3. And when I pull it, what happens when I pull it? It holds quite nicely. What do you think? I think it's nice together. I don't know if it will work, but I will try, and maybe then I will go through all of the components once more. So far it looks quite nice. We will see. So add in another component. I will check if the knot is up here. So I will start here, the side, then I can go through the same group of 3 beads with my second thread, and I will pull it, and then I will progress right here to add more of my components. So I will go through all of these beads and through the Nib-Bit and through these 3 beads. So I will end up here, and with the second thread I will go through these upper beads and here. It's quite difficult to go through these corner beads and through these. So when I pull, they will add one next to the other. It doesn't look quite right, I think, but I will play with it more. So here we go. Another component, and from the second side, and when you pull, there is another one. It should work, but I think it will need one more thread pass. And again, here we go through the corner bead and through these three, and again until my thread is going up here and taking the other end, going through this corner bead cubes, again corner bead, and three of my cubes again, then pulling it. Okay. These doesn't fit. These don't fit here together. No worries. I will make it to work. Okay. So let's go through these three and through these three again. Pulling. Then I have to reposition my threads. It is constantly losing on me, but that's the thing I anticipated because it's very thick nylon thread and it's quite hard to persuade it to work with me, not against me, but I will try to do my best to make it work for me. And then here, okay, fine. Now I'm thinking about if this is enough of a length for the bracelet or it is not. I will take my ruler, and it is about 13 centimeters. My wrist is about 15.5 to 16 centimeters, but I have to consider that I have to add a clasp, so it will be about 3 centimeters. I will try it on my wrist if it fits. I think I won't add more the last component because it will be too long for my wrist. I'm not sure. Okay, I will think of it and I will make a decision how to end or how to continue this bracelet. I will try to go, so I did go from left to right, and I will try to go from right to left just to reinforce these connections so they will sit nicely. And then I will put the picture of the finished bracelet in the video so you can see what I did for this bracelet. And when I will be left with one of these components, I am thinking about making another one and turning it into earring. So this will be one of my earrings, and I'm also thinking about which position it should hang from the hook. I think this one is really nice like this, not like a regular square like I did in the bracelet, but like this, so it will be more interesting, I think. Okay, I don't know the name for this bracelet and these components yet, but I think I'm thinking about something Aztec-like, so I will think about it, and then you will see it in the title of this video. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it made you sense because I'm not good in explaining and teaching, and also in English, but I hope it made sense for you, and you will do some of these components for you and you will make nice things with them. Don't forget to check the photo. I will edit on in the video at the end, and all the materials and everything you will need will be down below the video as usual. And what else to say about this? I hope you will have a happy beading as well, and you will enjoy the summer because it's really hot and really nice outside, at least in Slovakia. So happy beading, friends, and I'm looking forward to see you again. Bye bye.